Okay, so we're doing some cutscene stuff this week. We made the start yesterday, and there was a few little techie stuff problems going on yesterday, but I can say that it's all done and sorted. I've mastered those self switches now. Is that what they're called? Yeah, self switches. I have now mastered them. So let's get RPG Maker up. I was having a mess around with them last night, and I am very happy because I'm going to use a lot of those from now on. At the moment, we're using quite a few switches. For example, we've got these, and they're a bit messy, and I think at least half of these could be made into self switches maybe. So I've got a good trick as well. I can, if I call a script, I can even have a self switch trigger it from another event. So that's pretty cool too. So maybe I can just use self switches all the time. Bird, oh my goodness, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Let's have some hype in chat for Bird, guys. Appreciate that. I appreciate you thinking about me and letting me have your one and only Twitch Prime for this month. 2 months up. Enjoy the emotes, the lovely bat emotes, Bird. Let's see some hype in chat. Thank you very much. Yay. Hype. Indeed. The self switches did always seem useful. Yeah, I have only just really figured out how they all work, and it's super straightforward. Honestly, I'm ashamed that I ever use normal switches. So, hooray. I will have to go through the game beginning to end and look through all the events and change things around, because I can definitely make use of self switches. And because we're still very early on, we've only got Lakefall area, Everbloom Forest. It's easy to do that now rather than save things for later. So, yay. Right. So, also, what else did I do? There's a few things I added yesterday, and when we play the cutscene through, you'll see what they are. There was Carol the Barrel's asset yesterday that we were messing about with. So where is Photoshop? We got it here. We were having a bit of an issue doing the vertical side view of Carol. Basically what happens is, obviously when she's on the side, the wooden planks at the top in the circular part also, they change from horizontal to vertical, and it's all fixed now. Zexy sort of helped out a bit. I kind of used his asset and just made a few adjustments to it, but I would say that thickness is probably about right now. They were a little bit wide yesterday, but I think it looks okay. It doesn't look too bad compared to the how it's meant to be. The original. Hi Tetsu and Mech, how are you doing today as well, guys? I stayed up listening to people reading a terrible book together on Discord. Oh no, what was that book? Oh no. A terrible book. Thanks for being a neat person. Yeah, thank you. You are a neat person, Bird. I'm glad you looked into it. I found them really useful to the point that I'm always run out of self switches on each major event. Yeah, I'm obsessed with them now, Zex. I'm going to be using them all the time because it just makes me feel better, because the problem with using normal switches, I just get scared that I'd run out, because we only get 999 switches, don't we? Which is unfortunate. I don't think there should be a cap, but oh well. Tetsu as well. How are you today, Tetsu? And Van, how are you doing, Van? More meetings, Van? I hope not. Yours looks so good. You fixed up the metal band around the top. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, thank you. I had a little tinker, spent about half an hour just messing about, and I think that it's at a stage that it looks decent. The side face of Carol looks a bit strange. I wasn't happy with how her face looks from the side, but I think we can get away with what we said yesterday, where she doesn't actually have a face when she's walking to the side. She only has the face from the front. I think we could get away with that, seeing as the barrels kind of hide their faces now and again anyway. That's kind of how they work. And you know, a face could still be at the front, we just might not be able to see it because it's only small and the barrel's quite You know, there's still quite a bit of a width of the barrel compared to what her face is. So, not too bad, guys. We might potentially be making more sprites today because you never know, we might want to get creative with the expressions or anything like that. Or we would definitely be making more for the card scene though, because we'll have to do Carol's rolling animation. So we will keep that tabbed up for now. We might add a few sprite expressions to Rose's face, walking sprite today as well, because of the cutscene. I was thinking she could perhaps have a surprised face or something, and I think that will add a lot to the cutscene too. So, have I got those face assets from before when I did Fiona Bookington? Let me just have a check, guys. Yeah, this is an example of what we did with Fiona Bookington, who is one of the NPCs in the game. She gives us, well, she's the destination for the first main quest. And one of the choices that the player has is to push her in the lake. And this is her face when she gets pushed in the lake. We were very fond of it because it added a bit of comedy to the scene. That face in particular is pretty shocking. And we have some assets of different faces, expressions, and I just merged those expressions with Fiona Bookington's face, and that's what we'll do with Rose as well. The hero won't be able to have custom faces though, because we've got over 100 hero assets because it's a custom hero, so he's gonna just have the same face all the time just because we got no choice. But you know, he's kind of meant to be a bit of a stoic character, I guess, or her if you have a lady. The Alluring End. Oh, I've not heard of that. I'm sorry it was a terrible book though. That's not good. Hopefully you can listen to a good book next time. Is the third row facing right? It needs the top rotating around. Oh, did I not do that? Did I forget to do the obvious thing? I did, didn't I? Yeah, that is meant to be flipped. So let's just get all this highlighted. There we go. Gotta be careful because I don't want to accidentally flip the sprite below there. I think that's fine. So there we go. Completely didn't realise with that one because we're not in the scene we're working on. Carol's only walking left, but yes, thank you. Otherwise I would have been like, why is that the facing right not working when I eventually did it? Okay, so as you can see there, her sprite is also wonky, and the reason for that is because she has a little hop when she walks, and we might add a shadow today onto that because it could add a little bit of realism to the hop. So she does the original Carol asset actually does have a shadow, so we'll just look at that and try and animate it, I guess. So yeah, so I'm gonna have to find this expression sheet. It is somewhere. I only just remembered about this just before we started the stream. I was like, oh yeah, we did sprite expressions, and I was like, it'd be pretty cool if we can just do that for Rose when Carol calls her out. Can have a surprised Rose face maybe, or not even a surprised Rose face. I mean, looking at our dialogue thing, we got shifts around feeling uncomfortable, so we can even have an uncomfortable expression, because Rose is especially a character we have to make use of things like that because she is a mute. She doesn't speak. Well, she's not a mute, she makes feral noises. She hisses sometimes, but still, because she can't communicate with words, that's a good way to show how Rose is feeling. So we did get up to here in the scene yesterday, which is a little bit slow because we was trying to get some things sorted, but we are gonna get the rest of this dialogue in today, all going well. And I might do scene 8 before scene 7, simply because it's super short. And it actually might be worthwhile to get that one done, simply because it's all in the same area. This one's definitely the hard one, not so much the dialogue parts, but it'll be the hijacking part when there's some animations and things, all the action begins then. And we'll have to also visually think about how the cart scene's going to look as well. And I think all going well, we might have some time to do that today too. So, hooray. Hi Diver, how you doing? It's good to see you. that shocked face, I know, right? I heard feral noises and barrel noises and almost spit out my coffee. What would barrel noises be? That's an interesting thing to imagine. Okay, so I've also been googling some images of wagons and carts on the road for a bit of visual inspiration. So we might have a peek at some of that today. Okay, so I'm just gonna find where this is. There's some really good expressions on this sheet as well. So I have an idea where I've kept it. That one's not it, but I found one, but this isn't the one. Let me get it Photoshop back up. This was another one I saved a different expression. Like we got a sort of crying one. Some different poses and stuff, so that was one. Although those different poses ones are going to be a bit tricky because we'd have to edit how the clothes look on them as well, which is time consuming. So probably only going to make use of facial expressions. Sometimes if we have to, we'll do the poses, like if necessary for the story and we have to have them, then yes, of course. But we won't think too advanced at this point. Now, where is this other one? If that one's there, then we must have the other one here somewhere. Have to get back to work. See you later. See you later, guys. Bird, thank you so much for popping in and for that Twitch Prime. I appreciate you. Have an awesome day at work. Do you think the barrels keep telling to do a human role as a meme? Oh, I am sure you guys will be creating some memes eventually as time goes on. You never know. Barrel noises equals Carol yapping and jabbering in the Discord. Okay. So the only other thing I can do is try and find it on the Google, which I might have saved this in my favourites, in my bookmark, should I say. So I'm going to scroll down and see if it's there. But I will show you guys the cutscene in a bit, and I'm thinking of actually pausing the music in the background so we can have the sound on when we test the cutscenes today. Okay, this might be it. No, that's not it. If I'd have remembered this before my stream was going to start, I would have looked for it last night. Okay, so it was on the RPG Maker forum, and I've got a few of those. In my favourites, but RPG Maker and the forums sprite expressions. If I Google that, it'll probably lead me to it, to be honest. Thank you, Stephen, for the follow. I appreciate that. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Okay, so I found this. I'm on the RPG Maker forums here. So this might be the one. I hope it is anyway. We've even got tied up in ropes asset here. So one day, if everybody that happens, then at least we've got that. Bright red face. I'll know where the one is that we've got as soon as we see that really shocked face. I like the puking one. So they're the battle sprites, not those. Oh, here they are, here they are. Because there's our shocked face. Right, so I guess there was a moment in the conversation, let's say that it's when Carol says stand still and look at me, Cruncher, that her facial expression would have a clear, uncomfortable look to it as soon as Carol says that, and then she'll turn around to face Carol. So I'll put she tries feeling comfortable and faces the barrel. Forgot to put that. And then Carol jumps in surprise and is like, is that you? And then Rose will just have a shocked face, and perhaps, well, at the moment I've got period to go with that. And then that's where we've got up to. And I've got that Carol face is the hero. She's called Barrel at this point, by the way, because we don't know her name yet. So one idea was, actually, I remembered now. You see how we've got Carol's eyes facing that way? We could make her eyes look at the hero. Like, all we'll have to do is, well, we'll probably have to copy and paste it. So here's an idea. So we put her there. Yeah. Oh no, I've chopped off some of the lower bit, so we'll have to do that again. There we go. So we could have a whole sheet of Carol's expressions over time and animations as we build on this, but my idea was for the moment that she looks at the hero and says, "Oi, flashback," rather than facing left, because it's a bit weird that she'd face left, because it's more of a diagonal position that the hero is from Carol in this scene. So I figured it could actually work better if we just make the eyes move to the left. And I think actually it would go like this instead, wouldn't it? Wow, she looks scary like that. There we go. So like that, like we just changed the sprite to this one just before she says, "Oi, flashback," to the hero. And I think the eye direction changing will like, you know, make a bit of a difference and show that it's him that she's talking to. Cute Carol. Hi, Joe. Welcome to the stream. Cross-eyed Carol, I know, right? That is nightmare fuel. I think nightmare fuel is my favourite trope word now. Because I keep saying it. And Carol is the cutest. She's a very endearing character, I think, even though she's really angry and violent. There's a charm to her. Okay, so we have her looking that way, and I'm sure we can make her eyes do different things if we think of any ideas in the future. So, save this. And where's Rose? We need to get Rose's character sheet up as well if we're going to add some expressions to Rose. So, right, it would be this one because she's facing left when Carol calls her. So, right, instead of doing it the hard way, I'll actually grab it as a square so I can get the 48 by 48 at more accurately. Actually, no. Doesn't still keep it highlighted. Never mind. So, what I'm going to do is need to make sure it's, yeah, I think that's the right positioning. I hope so. Need to make sure it's properly aligned. Yeah, I think that's right. So we've got Rose standing exactly as she does in that scene. So all we can do at this point is we'll look for a suitable expression on here that we can use. So what I'm probably going to do is get these saved and open them up in Photoshop so we can have a better look at them. So definitely these ones. Oops, accidentally crossed it off. Some of these are pretty cool too. Hi Neffel, how's it going? It's good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. These ones are all facing front ones though. There's a couple of side ones, but they're like laughing ones. So I don't think these ones are relevant for what we try and do with Rose right now. I mean, some of them could be if they were from the side. But I like that one. It's a pretty good surprise face. But have we got any of those on the other sheet? Let's have a look. So get these opened up. So we have male and female. I assume the extra ones doesn't matter which it is. So for a surprised face, well, it doesn't have to be surprised. I'm kind of thinking surprised, but we could also have an uncomfortable face. What looks like an uncomfortable face though? That sort of does. So we could either go for that one, or that one, that bottom one, or this one. So what's the dialogue again? Let's remind ourselves. Carol when she speaks to Rose. It's stand still and look at me, Cruncher. Probably this one, in all honesty, I'm drawn to. So let's go Rose. Actually, this one's going to be tough because Rose has bangs and the expression with this one is all in the eyebrow. So I'm actually not sure it's going to show it off. So that's something to consider as well. Let's have a look again. Yeah, we might have to go with the surprise one simply because that would be great with someone that had eyebrows or was showing them at least, but because Rose isn't, we'll go with this one instead. Now, the easiest thing to probably do is just copy and paste the eye. So I think everything else is the same. It would save us having to change the skin colour and stuff. We'll have to change the skin colour around the eye though. So we'll do that. Or we could just delete the outside bit, that's fine too. She does look a bit scared. So do we need that bit there? I think we might have to. It might look weird if we do delete it, but yeah, I think that's fine. So over time, if we may use some of these expressions, all the characters apart from the custom hero will gradually have their own little set of expressions that we can. I think it'll bring the cutscenes to life. So I personally like the idea. Right, I don't think she's aligned properly. Looking at this, I think she needs to be moved over a bit. I think that's it. There we go. So let's get her saved as well. So we've got just two expressions to change. Carol when she looks at a hero, and Rose when she gets surprised. And then we'll do a test of the cutscene, and then we'll slowly add to it and start scene 8 and finish scene 6 and 8 all going well. And then we can spend the last 2 days of the week working on the cart scene, or making some decent progress with the cart scene. Okay, so back to RPG Maker. So looking at the scene, what I did actually as well to solve the Rose stepping issue, because she kept having a leg sticking out and nothing I did would fix it. So in the end, I made a second page with the asset on, and Rose's and Carol's, and all I did was set that to a self switch, their own self switches, B for Carol and C for Rose, and I just turn them on when they have to appear on the screen with that script. So that is the script you need if you want to call a turn on or off a self switch from another event. So this part is the hero moving. I've also added some sounds. I've added footstep sounds for when he steps on the stone and grass, because I think that just adds a lot of realism. So I'm going to do the same for Rose and Carol as well, before we do the cutscene testing. And turn down, stand still and look at me, Cruncher. Okay, so we want her to have that surprised face probably here actually, or here. We'll see. We might need to move it, but it also might work. So event 19, that's Rose. Change image to that one. And because she's facing left anyway at this point, it should show the actual sprite. And then the music changes as well at this point, because I've done it so that when they walk into the cutscene, the music actually goes, the silence, and then when Carol appears, it goes into her theme. The exact same music that we've got for when the hero was a stowaway inside her at the start of the game. So we're going to consistently use that for certain Carol scenes. So then she turns up. I've also done the footstep with grass sound for Carol when she jumps. Right, so at this point, when she says all in flashback, is when we need to change. So I think we could do that on that one. So it will literally just change Carol's image, changes it to the eyes facing the other way, facing left. Okay, and that's all we've got to. I've also set it up so that once the cutscene finishes, I've set it up so that everything goes back to how it was before, and the player can carry on walking. So at least that's all ready and prepared. So I'm going to just add the sound effects now for the steps for the other two, and then we'll start doing some cutscene testing and adding to the cutscene. So I'm being very accurate about this. The hero has stood on stone 3 times, and then it's grass, and then it's stone again, because that is exactly what it is. It's 3 stone, and then it's grass, and then it's stone again. So what I also did do is when they're in Silent Haven and transfer to that scene, I've made all of these teleport to that exact spot, because otherwise he would be the other, he'd either be up here or down there or somewhere in between, and this cutscene would fail massively. So I had to make sure he was transferred to the same spot, but it doesn't actually do that here at this point. It still puts him where he should be, like the opposite side, because obviously when you're walking now when it's not a cutscene, we don't want that to happen. So what I did do is do that here. I transferred the player's position to that exact point where he needs to be, right at the start, and then I also turned the followers off there as well. And because originally yesterday I had it all set up like that in here, but I figured it's going to be messy to do it like that, because in the future when we're back in the Everbloom Forest and going to and from there, we don't want the cutscene event at that point. I mean, we could use a switch, but I just don't want to waste switches, and self switches probably won't work there very well. So it's all working out great this way. So we'll see how many grass and stones we've got for Rose and Carol's stepping on. But one thing we do need to do is do the footstep sounds on the map, because we did it for Lakefall. Basically what this is 2 is grass sounds and 3 is stone sounds. And 4 is wood sounds because they're walking across a wooden bridge. And I think I'd started that for the Everbloom Forest. Yeah, I did. I put 4 on the bridge, 3 for the path and 2 for the grass. So that's all done, but I haven't done it for the others yet. Winding Way still has 2 on the path where it should have the stone, but I kind of want to do that really, especially for the Silent Haven area and the Tall Stone Mountain one, because that's where we're working at the moment. So it was 4 for the bridge, so if we do that we can test it to make sure that works. We got a bridge anywhere else? Oh, we had started it. We've put 3 here, I see. It's there in some places but not in some others. Hi Squirrels, how are you doing today? It's wonderful to see you, and Pink Zeppelin as well. How are you doing? It's good to see you both. I'm sorry about my late welcome for you into the stream. I certainly sometimes get very carried away, rambling on to myself about this. That can be a thing that I do. And thank you for the follow as well. Hero him. I hope I've said that correctly. I hope you're having a great day. And anybody that's new or lurking and wants to know more about our project, feel free to have a look at these links. Some good news, it's Stream 94 today, and I'm planning the full website launch for Stream 100. So we'll have, once we've got that, we'll be putting the website link on those commands for sure. So I'm very excited about that. It's not rambling, it's educational. Yeah, thank you, Zexy. I'm glad. Okay, so there we go. Tall Stone Mountain. Because the reason why we've got loads of 1s here is because we're doing parallax mapping and we're not actually doing the collision, what we can walk into and what we can't through tile sets. Normally I'd do it in this menu, but because we're doing parallax mapping, I have to use these to show that we can't pass. So anything that's got a red number 1 there is there because, oh well, we can't walk over mountains. But if it's got a number 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or any of the other numbers, it means it's fine to walk on. So it's pretty cool. Basically what this is with the footstep sounds as well is a plugin. I think it's a Yanfly one, and you use these same little squares to show what makes the sound and what doesn't, and it's all done like this. I have to set it up in the notes as well, otherwise it won't work. It's set up in the notes for this map, so basically you just have to do a note tag. You say region 2 footstep sounds and you say what the sound is. It's quite straightforward really. Also I messed up the order of the map. There we go. There we go. So I'm doing all these little small touches at the moment before we do the cutscene testing, because I want it to just be more, want it to be better basically. These little things, they just add a little extra touch. Same with the expressions with the sprites as well. So I don't know for sure if there's path behind that tree. I'm just kind of guessing because we can't actually see because the tree's in the way. So we've done those 2. Also have to do the cabin as well and put the wood in there at some point. The wood sound. So I'm gonna copy and paste this. I think we can just copy and paste it exactly as it is actually, because it's the same. So it's Winding Way, got it? It has. Silent Haven, yeah, that one's got it. So this one hasn't, so we just pop it there. Same for the others. And now I will show you exactly how that sounds. And I'm not sure if you guys will hear it because I don't usually have my sound very loud on stream. Because I want to make sure you can hear me most of all. But I might turn it up a bit just so you can hear for when we do a quick look and a test. Okay, so before we do the test play, let's go back to that. We want to add the sounds in manually for Carol and Rose when they're stepping in the cutscene, because unfortunately those region footstep sounds only work when it's not a cutscene, if that makes sense. It's weird, but when you do the player movement thing through an event, the set movement route, it doesn't play the sounds. So we have to actually add the sounds in with every single step. It's a bit of hard work, but I think it's worth it because it just adds the extra immersion. I'm doing pretty well this morning. Yourself? Oh, I'm glad to hear it, Pink Zeppelin. Well, glad to hear you're doing well. I'm doing great. And oh, yay. You are a splash made up of 15 raindrops. GG already, heroism. I want to call you heroism, but it's heroin, I think. Like heroin except with an M. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Carol is here, so it's all grass for Carol actually, so that's an easy one. And for Rose it's just one stone, then grass. Yeah, so it just, yeah, these won't be too difficult then. So this one's Carol. So we have her moving right first because her square is a little bit far out the map, so we have her invisible, and then she changes the graphic at this point. So at this point is when we can start adding the sounds. So it's all grass that Carol is stepping on, and she's not walking, she's hopping, but it's the same effect really. So okay, so the first one was stone, not grass for Rose, so we'll have to edit that one. But I'm gonna just copy and paste that. So I think we had the volume for the stone a bit louder than the grass, I think, because of balancing, and for some reason the sound effect for that was quieter, so we've turned the volume up on that one a bit. Right, so that is fine, I think. So now we can do a test and see if it's working. I'm not expecting it to be, I bet there's going to be something I forgot to do, but we'll see. So I am going to mute the background music that we've got temporarily while we do some of this, because usually when we do testing I keep the game sound on mute, because a lot of the time we don't need the sound when we're doing testing, but obviously for things like cutscenes the sound is important, so we're going to turn it on this time. And I'm hungry. You're never going to guess what this is though. It's a bear. it's a chocolate bear that I murdered. better bunny. There are bunnies as well and reindeers, but I've had the bear. I know, I'm the worst. I got a real fancy for chocolate yesterday, so I just ate him up. I made him last a whole month. I'm proud. Okay. So I'm gonna have to put in an earphone myself so I can hear the sound. I'm proud of him too, for lasting so long. Would you guys be able to last that long? So everything's working and you guys probably can't hear it at all because I don't think I've got the sound on that loud, and the stepping sounds are very subtle. I want them to be overbearingly loud, of course, because it'd be annoying. So they're just a very subtle sound in the background. And we got music in the background at the moment too, so you probably can't hear it well because of that. But let's do the scene testing, and you'll be able to hear the sound, the footsteps maybe just slightly in here because I do turn the music off when we go into this cutscene. Oh, sorry guys. I'm the worst human ever. I've just realised I've not put up the test play screen again. I need to sort this out. I need to remember. Let's do it again. We'll do it again. It's fine. There we go. My chocolate lasts about a day. See, I've got willpower. Tried to be moderate about snack type. Money and also good job. Yay. Depends what it is. I'm hungry though today, more than usual, because I only had soup for lunch and that doesn't really fill me up. I had a banana as well. But I have to have solid foods to fill me up, really. And I usually have a bigger lunch than what I had today. So I might have to get a snack in a bit. Or just finish the chocolate even. It's actually homemade soup that my dad made. He has a proper vegetable blender. So it's literally just loads of vegetables all blended up. I'm not sure exactly which ones, but it's super good. It's very yummy. Here we go, let's watch the cutscene. Hey, where's Rose's asset gone? Okay, that's one problem already. Where Rose's asset has gone. Okay, so we're going to have to turn it off simply because Rose's asset's not there. And I think I have an idea why that is, but I didn't think it would do that actually. I thought it would show. Because what we've done is we've changed Rose's image at this point. And it actually doesn't show it because the reason why she doesn't have an asset is probably because of this. Because we haven't got, I mean, she should have these should all be filled up, this section of Rose sprites, but I didn't think we need to because we're only doing the facing left, but I've just realised the dreadful mistake I made. What I did was I put it in the wrong spot. I was meant to have put that in this middle one, not the left one. There we go. I think that is in the right spot now. So really this one should be deleted. That was the error. We had her in the wrong bit. So have we got the Yep, she is in the right position. Cool, let's save that again. On the event page, there's an image section on the left. Right now it's a blank. If you click it, you can set the event image to look like Rose. Okay. Well, hopefully it'll all be fixed once we've done this. I felt that something was up, the fact it was blank, but I thought it was blank because the sprite bit wasn't full of Rose sprites elsewhere. And I thought it was just showing the face in front one or something that we hadn't added yet. Okay, so back to the game. Now, we've changed it, so maybe it's updated, maybe it hasn't. Well, it's updated it, but it's still blank. But I'm assuming, yeah, it's because we haven't filled the rest up. But as long as it appears in the game, that's all that matters. So let's have a look again. I love doing the scene stuff. It's probably one of my favourite parts. The world building, this dialogue stuff and the scene making is probably what I like the most. And the maths and skills stuff the least. I like thinking of the skills, like what the skills do, but not so much making the skills and implementing them. Just because it's maths. Okay, so it flickered, didn't it? We'll fix that as well. So... okay, so I know what's going on there as well. We have to change the sprite back because it's kept it as that one. Now, we can easily just, like, clone this. But I feel like it's better to just put it back to what it was before. Just so things don't end up getting messy. So... so when she turns up, she's also got to go back to her old image. And then she will be there. So there was a flicker, I noticed. Not sure if you guys noticed too, but I certainly did. So, I know that Fiona Buckington didn't flicker when we changed her sprite. So, let's just see why she didn't. So there's one option to push Fiona in the lake. Thank you for that follow. I appreciate it, Miguel. Welcome to the stream. I'm trying to figure out the point where the face changes. Where's the... there it is. There's the pushing lake. So this is it. That's the moment we change Fiona's face. As you can see here, that's the face, the shocked face. Stepping animation is on, so there was obviously a reason that got turned on. Maybe that's what stops the flicker. I'm actually not sure at all. What's that? Image none through on. What does through on do? Makes it possible to move through impassable tiles and codes. Okay, that's because she had to disappear from the spot she was in previously. Maybe it did flicker, but we just didn't notice because it was changing the position, you know? That might have been why it didn't flicker. What does stepping animation on do? Yeah, I reckon that it might have, if we kept it in the same spot, it probably would have flickered there. So that's an interesting one, how to solve that problem. On the event page, under event name, there's the condition section. Under that is image. That's what I was talking about. Okay. Oh, you mean this bit? Is this the bit you meant, Sexy? I'm just wondering what part you're referring to exactly, what the context is for what you're saying. Just take note of it next time you test the scene. See if the step animation being on makes sense. God, I'm so very proud of using notes for why you did things in the scripts. Such good practice. Yeah. It's easy to forget these things, so sometimes making notes is a good idea. Yeah, that bit. Okay. So yeah, it's just the rose flicker that's the problem now. We have the expression does change how we want it to. Yeah, this has to stay blank now because we don't want that to be anything. But I don't know. Let's have a look at the cutscene again, because I did get a proper look last time. I got a bit distracted, so we can look again. Yeah, there's a flicker. But she's facing up now, so that bit's done. Oh yeah, so the cutscene ended, that's why everything's gone back to like this. I've already set it up so Rose is a follower again when the scene ends. Obviously, that is not the point it's going to end. We've got to do way more. But I like that it's all set up and ready. And even when you go back, it should be fine and it won't trigger the cutscene again either. So the self switches have done their job, at least. So it's just that flicker bit we got to fix now. And then we can carry on with the cutscene. Now I want some chocolate. Yeah, I would share if I could, guys. I would definitely share. I'm totally not wanting it all to myself. I actually do want it to myself. Okay, so one sec. What's this actually called? It's called image in set movement route. If I Google this and put flicker set movement route change image, maybe there's other people that have had this problem. Okay, so there's other people that have got this problem. So if we go on the internet, we can figure it out. Sorry, I thought Rose is still disappearing, which she is, but it's because the scene is over. You can ignore what I was saying. I was a little behind on what's happening. No worries at all, Zexy. That's fine. I appreciate you wanting to help. Okay, so when you use the change image command, you set move out. This person's got the exact same problem that we've got. And if it wasn't for me wanting to be all fancy and change the expression, this wouldn't be a problem. But it's because I want to be all fancy and have Rose have a surprise face, and I want to make use of expressions because it's fun. So if we can fix this, that'd be great. RPG Maker doesn't have the image you're trying to change when you activate. Shows it. I don't know if it's noticeable, but it's quite noticeable. But that's really high. Came up with a quick solution, which is manually caching the graphics I'll use on that map by putting event on parallel process set to transparent and change to every image I'll use. Then erase the event as shown here. Okay, so this seems a bit confusing. Just a test to see if the image is being properly cached. Give this a try. Okay, so what I am going to do, because this sounds a little bit technical, I'm going to keep that tapped up on my end, but for now I'm going to just get rid of this for temporarily now. I mean, I'd like to solve it, but I also want to get the cutscene done. Depends how quick we can solve this. I'll just give it another quick read. I do actually have a preload plugin, but it obviously hasn't worked. So we could use a common event then. I'm a bit confused because they're not being very thorough about what they mean by that. Try loading the images used with this. Is that a script? I don't know what they mean. Like, I get that there's this that we could use, but where and how? That's weird. Apparently if you add a weight, it works. Hi Oracle, how are you doing? Welcome. Hope you're having a good day. This is way more advanced than anything I ever did. Yeah. My head's exploding as well as Exy, but it'd be super satisfying to figure it out, won't it? So it seems like there are solutions. There's plenty of people who've got the problem. Just seems a bit, hang on. I mean, part of me wants to think, I'll do this off stream and we'll just carry on with the cutscene now. And another part of me is like, no, let's fix it. It might be solved quickly. So, I don't know what they mean by this. To load multiple, is this a script? Because we need to change the method from locate to load picture. Or we can use an array. I would totally do this if I knew where it had to go. I just want to say I really love what you're doing. Super cool. I do. Thank you, Oracle. That is awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate the kind words. We've got hopefully the website coming up for Stream 100 because I want to celebrate Stream 100. So I'm hoping that the website will be ready for the full launch on that day. So it'll be super exciting to show you guys that so we can show off our game even more. I'm really working hard to make it look really cool. Yay, 2 raindrops. You're a trickle. What if you have the sprite facing upward towards Carol so the player doesn't see the sprite face? Then you could use the same sprite but still change the portrait art to show she's surprised for the one in the dialogue box. Yeah, so you're saying don't bother changing the sprite and just use the face, the portrait art for the surprise face sexy. I mean, that's the easy solution, but I really like making the sprites the face too, if that's what you mean. I kind of would be sad if I threw in the towel with that just because we're having problems with the flicker. I'm kind of feeling determined to solve it, but I'm not. I just wish that they were a bit more making sense with what this means. Okay. It's my fault. It's not their fault. It's probably me just not reading it properly, which I can never read things properly when I'm streaming. Okay. I think it's a script, so I'm tempted to just copy this, but it's a bit confusing. I don't know which one to do. Okay, so I think I'm going to just copy this. This looks like it makes the most sense. So I'm going to attempt something. I don't even know if this is going to work, but okay. Right, what's the image name? Apparently this will preload it so it won't flicker. I think that's what it's basically saying. Right, I need to get the exact file name, so I'm going to have to look in my folder for it. Came for the game, Dev stayed for the ASMR. Hi, Dev. Oh, you like my accent? Well, thank you very much. Or the keyboard noise, maybe that. Some people have said that's ASMR. The keyboard noises, which I'm glad about. You can always come back to the problem later on. That's true as well, Binary, which I was going to do. I was going to do this off stream, but I'm like, no, I'm doing it now. I will probably come back to it later on if I'm finding I'm spending a lot of time on it. Then I will. Like if this doesn't work now, then I'll do it later. But I want to give it at least one shot before we hold back from. I want to give it one shot at least. Can I always have the surprise back in? Yeah, that's true. Just have that as this placeholder now. That's what we'll do if we can't get it fixed then. Okay, so I've got that. I've put in what it is. So let's see if this works. Part of me is very skeptical it will, to be quite honest, because I don't think I've done it properly. I need to have a proper read later, I think. But no harm in trying. Yeah, it's still doing it. Okay, guys, we're gonna... I wanted it to work because I thought it'd be so cool to see Rose look like that. It didn't work, but we're gonna have to be patient. So we can always do a common event with something like this. That might work better as well, for all the preloading. I don't know, we'll see. Okay, so I think we'll just leave it. We're going to see a flicker when we do the testing, but we'll just leave it for now. I could delete it, but that would mean I have to put it back in. So I'm going to be lazy and leave it there. If you starve in stream, that could make a useful tutorial on YouTube. True. I've been thinking of throwing in the towel on the tutorials though, because I've been getting some hate. The video, actually, the custom character ones got very kind of popular. But there's people like commenting on it quite regularly, being like, what's this, but what about that? And then I had someone else comment saying, no offense or anything, but this doesn't make any sense. I was like, hang on, this was ages ago, and I can't even answer their questions anymore because I forgot how I did it. So I feel bad because people are messaging me asking questions and I can't even remember how I did the thing. So I don't want it to distract from the development, because I know it would if I become a teacher. That's going to take up my time, and then we won't be getting the game development done. So I'm probably going to have to, it's either make games or teach making games, and my passion's with making them. So but you know, people who are in streams can learn something maybe as I do this. That's YouTube for you. Yeah, it is. YouTube can be a toxic place. I just found kill all the extra wherever your passion. Don't fret over it is outdated, and they should recognise that. Well, it was I think it was good. I've had people comment saying, oh, this is really helpful, but then I had one person say this makes no sense, and they just sounded really angry, like I'd really hit a sore spot for them by my tutorial. It's like I was just putting up because I thought it was pretty cool. And it's like, I don't want that to distract most of all, because I could easily spend a whole week answering people back that have got in touch with me and figure out their problems for them. But then Raindrop Chronicles won't get done. So teaching will destroy time, exactly, Oracle. It's about priorities, and I'm not gonna be neglecting the game development of this to help people. I hope that don't sound mean, but that's the truth. Can you do a parallel process? Keep the original rows, then overlay the surprise sprite. Then a second or so after the surprise sprite is there, remove the original part. That's a clever solution, actually, Zexy. That could be a solution to the problem. That could be a way we do it. So I want to know how would we go about that though? Because I kind of get what you're saying. We just overlay it and then we won't have the flicker. But how would we do that step by step? I mean, don't feel free to explain. No worries at all. No pressures, actually. But I'm curious, but no worries. I'll figure it out either way. It's just someone being an entitled dangus. Don't let it distract you then. Just ignore the lot of it. Yeah. I was hoping you would know. Oh, you don't know. Yeah. Well, I'll have a think about that after stream, I think, because it's going to be one of those things that are going to be a bit, I'm going to need my focus on with that particular thing. So we'll solve that after stream, and we'll get the fun stuff done today. We'll actually build the scenes, because we've got a lot more to do. We've got a bit of dialogue extra to add in. So look at our flow. We've got all this to add. So we're at this point. So let's do it. Let's start building it. Trigger parallel process that pops arose into existence. Yeah, thank you for your ideas. It's better to have more ideas than none. Or one, because then I can see what one works best. Okay, so now we got a choice. The hero has a choice, 3 options. One gives compassion, one gives bravery, and one will give a romance point, everybody, for Carol. But we haven't actually thought of the dialogue for that yet, funnily enough. We need to think what's the way to flirt with Carol, but a sort of flirting insult that goes with the rest, because we've got don't be so rude, she has a name, because Carol's been calling Rose a cruncher, and he can also say stop calling me fleshbag if he wants to be more bothered about the name that's being used to him. And that will give a bravery point rather than a compassion one. And I thought about pulling out the weapon to add a bit more aggression to it, to show he's angry. And then we got a sort of flirting, but also a flirt insult thing. And I was like, empty-headed was an insult for Carol, because barrels are empty. But that isn't very flirty, is it, to call someone empty-headed? So maybe not sure about that one, but I do like it as a normal insult. It's 2020. You can romance the barrels. Oh my God, this is next just. Yeah, you can romance Carol anyway. My green screen's been really weird today. I don't even know what's happening. But oh wow. I'm going to try and not get distracted because I'm having too much fun. Right, so let's get the choices in first. We can, no pressure about the flirting dialogue. We can think about that as we do it. We might have some ideas spring to us. So, oh, hang on. So let's just switch screen back to this one. So choices, and you know, because I'm lazy, I like to do this. Actually, no, it's probably best I don't copy and paste that one. There's too much. So we'll just do it from the beginning. And I don't think there's anything specific to... We do comment the compassion points and stuff though, so I have to remember to put that in. Right, so... The player will face, because at the moment the player's facing left, so he will face right this time, and then because he'll have to turn towards them, and then the choice can come up at this point. So we have, first choice is the plus compassion one, where he like sticks up for Rose. I'm just getting this dialogue typed in, and then we'll see it pop up in the editor thing when I've done that. And the second one is the bravery one, where he protects himself. And the third one's the flirting. So I'll just put in flirting insult in brackets for now, and we'll have a think what that could be. So there they are. Let me just revisit Fiona Bookington's event again. Copy that. How did I, what's the setup for the choices? Middle, dim, choice one, and disallow. Okay. To make sure it's set up properly. So that's +1 compassion, this one is +1 bravery, and this one is +1 Carol romance point. Next gen stuff, Raindrop Chronicles is the next Star Trek reboot. Confirm, you guys are funny. Future is here. I submitted my 500 point plus Characteronian minor empathy. Awesome binary fairy. I'll add you to our Trello list of character sheets. We do have quite a few. I think we've got about 8 or 9 on our list to do. And I'm a slow one with them simply because all the work's going into the website at the moment. So once the full launch for the website's done, I'll be focusing on getting them character sheets done. So it'll be stream 100. So that's the date. Guys, I'm playing a game on the side to relax a bit before I try to do stuff, but I have an important decision I'm stumped on. I have a guy who's a magic-y special based wizard type character. He's my third of his class, and I've called the other 2 pirate pope name, the original and pirate cardinal name. So this guy's going to be a pirate cardinal as well, but what should his actual name be? I don't have any good ideas. His name should be Jesus. So that's a joke. What about if his name was Carol the Barrel? That would be a twist. Okay, so we've got them all here. And now we'll get the next part in from when you pick the choice. So, looking at what we have the first one, we have a Rose surprised face and Carol dialogue. And then we've got a bit of, oh, this will be an interesting one because we're going to have a variable here. And then the first one. So we'll do the easiest one first, which is the top one. So surprised Rose face. So I have just period is what she says with that surprised face. Because there's not really much else Rose can say unless she does an animal sound or a hiss. And then Carol. It's just a lot easier to copy and paste the dial box because we have a lot of, you know, all the setup in there. Now, okay, so Carol says, but this cruncher. Okay, so I like to emphasize certain words with italics, so I need to remind myself how I do that. Okay, so I think it's that F and I and F and R. It's hard to remember that. Well, it is for me to remember anyway. Oops. Okay, so what words have we got in italics? Nose. So I'll eventually remember that when I get used to doing it. There we go. So now that that's that, it should make that word in italics. So that bit's done, because what comes after that is another choice with the hero that is basically is the start of the flashback. So let's get that choice in. Please tell me how you know her. Tell me how you know her now. And I don't know if we should have romance points for these ones. I don't really think that's very romantic, or this isn't exactly. So maybe we should just make that one not give anything. We don't have to have every choice give everything, but, you know, it's nice if they do. But it's not essential. Especially if it doesn't seem like it would be that kind of dialogue. Okay, let's get that choice in. Thank you all for the input. Thanks, yay. Had to name him Barrel to Pirate Face because character limits. I'm happy though, yay. I'm so glad Barrel's there. That is awesome. Okay, so we got another choice here as well. Or we can actually, no, we don't. It's at the point where they all, yeah, it would be at the end here, the choice would. So, please tell me how you know her is the first one. I don't know, I feel like this should give something, because otherwise it makes it pointless that which one we pick. Tell me how you know her now. You know what I mean? Like I said, we don't have to have a plus point for every single choice, but then it just makes it pointless to have choices. So I don't see that really affecting romance, but I don't see it affecting the 3 traits, which is why I know I was like wondering about a friendship scale as well as a romance one. That was an idea. But yeah, if I can't think what else would go. Hello everybody, how are you guys doing? And hello lady at the stream. Hi Truebaldy, how are you doing today? I hope you're having a good Tuesday. I don't think that every choice has to advance romance. Oh, of course not. In fact, this one here, this particular 3rd choice that we've got here that does give Carol a romance point for Carol. It's the first ever romance point in the whole game so far. Most of the time it only goes into compassion, bravery or wisdom. But it only should go into romance when it is romantic, you know. Otherwise it's silly to like to just have anything go into romance. So it feels like it would fit more if we have a flirting choice to have it, but not for the others. It's just this one that we stumped at because that's not romantic. Please tell me how you know her is not romantic. But it could give a friendship point because it's more, I don't know. That one's more rude and that one's more polite, basically. That's the polite option and that's the rude one. Because the game's going to be so long, I think the main story shouldn't give too many romance points. I prefer having to go out my way to earn romance. For me, that makes it more impactful. Yeah, for sure. And I agree. There will be some romance points thrown in the main story, but the majority of romance points will probably be in side quests and character side quests for the people to romance that have their own quest line. I agree, Zexy. We're experiencing April's weather right now, but I'm good. Thank you for asking. Oh, is it raining? No April showers. I think it's okay if some choices are just choices without getting any in 20 points. Yeah, that's just informational. Yeah. Yeah, I think my thought was it makes it pointless to have a choice. We could easily delete one and just have that, you know what I mean, if it's not going to have a consequence. But we'll think about it. So it's all going to lead to the same thing. The flashback's going to start. So I've got Carol's sad face. So I'm figuring... Copy that. I mean, yeah, I can get it if we have a choice that doesn't give any points to anything. If we get different dialogue, then it's worthwhile still. But this particular choice is leading to the same thing. And it's not giving any points. So it kind of makes it seem a bit redundant. In a way, it would be nice if there was something, a reason for why we've got that choice. So and that would be it. Like Carol would do that first and then we'd go straight into the next scene, the flashback. So We'll still have to add the dialogue for these other choices as well, because we haven't done that yet. We've only done it for that one. Right, so I'm gonna go here because I know that when we went to Lakefall from the character creation scene, oh sorry guys, I'm hiding this. There was a tint screen. Okay, so I think that was the bit. I mean, really, that they don't need to be there. It would they literally both go to the same thing. Okay. Yeah, I suppose it could just be role play as well. Maybe have the choice just be tied to an item, like if you take the item to hear Carol out and are kind to her, she'll give you a potion or something, and if you're rude to her, she doesn't give you a said item, or just could not have the option. I would vote for making the out of your way romance points worth much more, like 5 points base, but still do have them sprinkled freely through the main story, and such as small favours, kindness, preferences, giving new bubble to one character over the other, like stuff that isn't really flirting but would potentially make someone appreciate you more nonetheless. Just make those smaller things only worth 1 point as opposed to actual side questy flirting stuff worth being 5 or 10. That was a long one, my bad. Yeah, I defo, depending on what it is, will, like this particular one only gives 1 romance point, so that's like a very, it's not going to really make much difference in the long run, is it, with Carol and whether you romance her or someone else, because it's only 1 point. I figured that more points would be given depending on how romantic the gesture is. If it's like something super like good that you've done for that character, then it would be a lot of points. Or if it's just like a small remark, a small little bit of flirty banter, it would only give 1 point. But yes, I agree about the side quest stuff, and the stuff that's out of the way should be rewarding and make most of the difference to who's romanced. I think we need to wait until we have the romance system fleshed out a bit more. Once we know the range of points we're working with, we can decide if they need to be weighted by how much. Yeah, and that it's something that we might adjust, isn't it? Like how many, once we've finished episode 1 content, we'll sort of like have a look and back and think if anything needs adjusting. The romance feature in itself won't be officially unlocked and told to the player probably until episode 2, maybe, because there's a certain character that's going to unlock the romance system. It was discussed quite a while back now. There's a particular character, they're actually in the game, there's a character sheet for them. They own a brothel basically, so it feels like an excuse as well to introduce that romance system. But the points will be getting gained in the background, obviously, before the romance system's actually unlocked. You are still gaining those points. So when it is unlocked, you'll say like who you've been the most romantic or flirty with, because you would have been secretly gaining those points in the game beforehand. And yeah, Carol's the only really romanceable one at this point in time, but there will be other characters as time goes on that we feel if there could be romanceable, we'll start, making us gain the points in dialogue with them as well. Who you've been the most romantic flirt with? I love that wording. Yeah. Like how it would be in real life. The first date is obviously a bigger deal than helping someone their homework, but those little gestures are a big part of what leads to bigger ones in the first place. Yeah, and I'm sure we're going to have lots of discussion, especially when we really get involved in the implementation of this. we will be really thoroughly deciding how it's going to work more then as well. But it's always good to have these chats. Okay, so obviously we're not transferring to Lakefall because that's we haven't made the map yet. So for now I'm going to just have it at Tallstone Mountain. Why is it a Lakefall? I said Tallstone Mountain. There we go. Just have it there. But obviously when we make the cutscene it'll be changed to wherever that is, because we haven't done the map yet, so we can't have it. But that's a fade to white, I believe that it's going to do. So do fade to whites make more sense to you guys with flashbacks rather than fade to blacks? I kind of think so, but I'm interested in other people's opinions as well. In fact, talking about that, it'll be a good idea at some point for me to have a look at how other games handle that with transitions into flashbacks, because I'm curious. I'll probably look up some YouTube videos to see. Okay, so we can get the other dialogue in now. I'm actually a little bit cold. I might get a blanket in a sec. Why has it gone so cold? Okay, so now the next bit. Okay, so the flirting bit with Carol when you have the romance point. So actually, yeah, we'll copy that. So in fact, it also says that she blushes. So one thing I probably will do is make her cheeks get a bit more blushed for the flirting bit. Just edit the avatar of Carol just a bit to make her look a bit more embarrassed. So she says, "Oh hush, just get over here," to the hero, and blushes. And the hero at this point walks over. And she starts talking about her companion. She says, "You remind me of this box I know," which we know is Woody. We can extend on this bit of dialogue, make Carol talk a bit more intimately about her companions, just as a bit of pre-info before the flashback starts for those people that did pick that line of dialogue. They would get some secret information. So that might be worth it, rather than just having about the box, because I don't know, we can just have that, but we'll say no worries if we just have that either. So okay, so the hero is standing here, I think. So Rose is there and Carol's there. Yeah, if he stands there, he's hidden behind the tree, so he could go there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 right, up to 1 right. So, and then face down. So that should move him to next to Carol. And then Carol will speak again. Also. So she says, you remind me of this box. And I've got in brackets talk more about box or other companions. So we'll wait for now. If we want to add a bit more dialogue to that, we can do. We'll see how we feel. Okay, so that bit's done now. So it's just the middle bit. This is the more complicated bit because we also pull out a weapon, and we're also going to need a variable with Carol because depending on what you are, a hunter or warrior, her dialogue will be different. So now I'm going to have to remind myself how I did this because I've done it in other scenes. So it's probably, there was in Nigel Buckington in this scene I did it, depending on what your hero's gender is. So if variable, yeah, I'm just going to copy that bit of info so we can use that as a template. Here we go. Stop calling me flesh bag. So if gender, right, it's not going to be gender, it's going to be class. So if class equals 1, and then we've got else and if. So which one was 1? Let's remind myself what class 1 was. In the common events, custom hero. Okay, so class 1 is the warrior. That's correct. So in class and variable number 2 is the hunter. I think the wobbly do transition is what I think of. White or black isn't as important to me. A wobbly do. Oh my god! What is there anything, a game or something that does that? Because I want to see some references for sure. I'm going to be looking tonight myself because I'm curious. One of my wizards got killed in battle by blood magic. Rip Fad Blishly Katie Indiana Jones. Oh no! Rip. I hope the barrel one doesn't die. A wobbly do. Yeah, I'm intrigued what that is. So there are the only 2 classes the player can pick, right? And all the other classes are just for party members. That's correct, Zexy. I wanted to give the player freedom to choose. So that's why we've got at least a choice. But we couldn't really have more than 2 simply because of the amount of assets required. There's hundreds of assets for how the custom hero can look visually. So, of course, I have adding a hunter as well. We need it doubled the assets because it was another outfit with all the different hairstyles and skin colours and genders and beards and all that. So it just for the sake of the fact that we don't have bazillions of assets, I've only limited to the choice of 2. And yes, all the party members will be the other classes. So it's only warrior and hunter that are taken up by the hero. You get the choice of one of those. I'm sure everybody has at least one they're more likely gonna like out a warrior and a hunter. So if class 1, that's warrior. And we'll get rid of Nigel Buckington's dialogue. So first of all, let's copy Carol's dialogue. She'll say, or what? You'll smash me into pieces. That's what she'll say if you're a warrior. Thank you, Paul, for the follow. Welcome. So that's what it is if you're class 1, which is a warrior, and if you're not that, you're obviously a hunter. So she's going to say, or what, you'll shoot arrows into me. That is just a small difference. And at this point as well, I thought it would be a really nice touch if the hero actually pulls out a sprite of their weapon. So axe if you're a warrior, and a bow if you're a hunter, just to make the threat sound more scary for Carol. And it gives that bravery point as well. But Carol isn't not intimidated, clearly, because she continues. She goes on to say this. She says, "I'm not scared of either of you fleshbags, especially not her." About Rose. And then we have italics for her. And then there's a little bit of a quarrel with Rose and Carol. Not a very long one because the hero cuts it short. But she does do an angry face, Rose does, and a hiss at that point. And then Carol continues to give her some sass for a bit just before they get interrupted. You're welcome. I'm all about game dev streams. Yay, I'm glad to hear that, Paul. Well, we're glad to have you here. Right, let me just read. All right, so submitted a major NPC character took me a while. Okay, Oracle. Well, you don't have the 500 raindrops yet. So one of the rules is that you have to have 500 raindrops in the stream. But no worries at all. When you do get them, we can add your character then. So that's fine. It will just be there sitting there until that time comes. Barrel Depart Phase is going to be at the capital getting trade for a while, so he'll be safe for like 6 months or so, at least before he gets attached to an army. And he's, that sounds awesome. I love that you've got a story about Sandwich. Okay, feel like I'm going to take ages to make mine, so don't feel bad. Went up 3 places since last time, yay! Yeah, we have a long list at the moment as well of characters because I'm working on the website, so I'm letting you guys know because we're going to have the full launch for Stream 100. I'm going to make sure I do it. With the game I'm playing, appreciate you all. You're welcome, Battle Sandwich. Okay, so let's get the rest of the dialogue in because that'll be super useful. And there's only 2 more lines. So where's Rose? There we go. There's one of Rose one. So she has an angry face at this point, and she's going to hiss as well. Hi Andy Cake, how are you doing? Are you sleepy? And then Carol will say something really mean. Well, not super mean, but it's definitely sassy. Okay, so that's it. And then the hero interrupts with the choice, so that will be there. So all we need to do is just add the weapon sprite thing, and then we can do another play test. Right, so let me just think of the way we can do this. we can do it by making an event here where the hero's standing is one way. Let me remind myself where we are here. So that's where the hero's standing. So if we did make an event now, what's it called? Event 21. And we could do the set movement route thing for event 21 and change the image to, well, we don't have it at the moment, but we can get it there. Let's just put a placeholder there for now. So that was just one way I had it, just make an event exactly on top of the hero of the sprite of what the weapon is and change it depending on if it's a warrior or hunter. Obviously we got to move it down here. But we'll have to find some sprites. Legs feel like spaghetti. Oh no. How are you planning on doing the episode it releases? No need to go into it right yet when you have a second. Yeah, I'm always a little bit slow at responding. I always try to get around to you guys. But how am I planning on doing them? Exactly how? Is there any specific question about the episodes that you have? I just want to make sure I answer it properly. I've toyed with the idea of trying to build a resource set to help a community of people to put out episodic content, but that's a heck of a haul. Oh, really? That sounds pretty cool. I'd love to hear more about that. It sounds interesting. But yeah, sounds quite ambitious. But yeah, there's still a lot of things that I need to work out about it being episodic in terms of where it's going to be, where the episode's going to be put for people to download and stuff like that. But it's just the best way to do it simply because of the nature of it, the game that we've got here. It just works better. It works better having it as episodes rather than waiting for a full game, because you'd be waiting a really long time for a full game, and I think it's just a lot more fun to release it in parts so people can have something to play. We're on part 4 of episode 1 at the moment. Oh yeah, part 4. Why part 4, Zexy? I'm curious. What's part 1, 2 and 3? I'm wondering. I see this as part 2 actually, because of the story so far videos and because of it being quest number 2. But I guess it all depends, because everybody could have their own like little reason for why I think that they would have their own like way how it's split into parts, I suppose. So there's no right or wrong at all. But I'm curious what part 1, 2 and 3 is for you. Technical implementation of releasing individual executables. Yeah, that's the bit that we haven't really like talked about much yet, because I feel like in the testing phase is once the episode 1 we're happy with and we're like doing all the technical stuff, it'll be then when we start to get into more of that. We just want to make us something playable at the moment and get something we're happy with. I'm not very good at the technical side of things, I will be honest. It is not I'm not a technical person at all. I'm a creative person. Okay, so there. We need to get the sprites now for Hunter and Warrior. So I'm going to type in Arching Maker weapons sprites and see what we've got. So I'm going to put these up so you guys can see them. I don't see a bow and arrow, or not the ones we're after. We kind of want just a standard axe and bow and arrow. These ones are more, yeah, these ones look a little bit more like the actual battler sprites. We want some, yeah, we want smaller ones, map sprites like that maybe. Not big ones. So yeah, we probably want to put icons in. Actually, this might look like that's a good one. I see a good axe. We got a bow on here as well. That is a bow and arrow, so we got that one. Oh, we've also got that one too, so I guess it's what one we like the most. No, that's wonderful. I'm a dev, so I'm always focused on the technical side, and there are times definitely in my way. I was going off the Instagram parts and switched out chapter for episode for an axe. Oh, right. Oh, I see, Zaxi. Yeah. I always use reusable code and lovely architectures that can bend and flex to needs, but then I don't get the game done, you know? Yeah. We were talking about that earlier, actually, how things can distract you from getting the game development done, and I was saying that I don't want that to happen to me, because I've made a YouTube video that's been reasonably successful. It's got about 5k views and it's a tutorial video, and I get quite a few comments now and again from people like asking me questions like how to do it, like more explanation, lots of troubleshooting, and I've kind of like said I've got to be careful here, because I could easily get carried away, especially if I ended up making more videos like that. I could easily spend all week answering people's questions, and it's like, nope, that will make the time not go into Raindrop Chronicles, so we don't want that to happen. That would be a shame. So save image. Right, so we're just looking for some weapon sprites at the moment, basically for our cutscene. And you'll see why, guys, in a minute, because this is the final touch now to this cutscene. And then we can do another test play. And in fact, I'm going to put music back on in the background. I'll take out my earphones for a bit, because we haven't done a test play for a bit. So, but when we do, I'll pause the music again. Okay, so Photoshop. I'm working on a racing game, and I've been stuck on the whole menuing system because I'm out with Unity's GUI stuff. I come from a web background, and the data collection transmission stuff in Unity is painful. Oh no. Yeah, I mean, Unity is probably a bit advanced for me just because it's you've got to be more of a coder to get your head around it. So I've figured that if I ever want to start using a more advanced program, it would probably be Game Maker for me, because there's a drag and drop system, and I think that'll probably be more my thing, because I'm not a coder or never studied code or anything like that. But that sounds cool, and if you do want to join our Discord, we do have a creative work section, so feel free to share your stuff on that channel. Hire a social media team to answer questions for you, pay them incoming bells. Oh my goodness, that would be crazy. The gummy bears are mine. Right, so I'm intrigued how I'm going to do this now, because let's get a custom hero out as a template. So this is one of the custom heroes. This one is a black-haired Jesus. Yeah, so I could imagine it being this one or something. And he's got his legs stuck out a bit. And same for the one with the bow and arrow. Where's the bow? There it is. So we're just going to make it look like he's realistically holding it, I guess. His hand's there, so I know. The axe was easier. That was flipped. Would that look right? No. The other way, probably. Hi Storm, how are you doing? It's good to see you. How's things going? Hi Lex. I just wanted to say thanks for posting your progress videos for the game on YouTube. It helps me learn as well. Awesome. I'm so glad you've been looking at them. That's fantastic. That's fabulous. Wheelo, how are you doing? All the cool peoples. How are things going, Wheelo? It's lovely to see you. How's life? The gummy bears are mine. Rose, please, how could you think of the sandal? They're mine. They're all mine. Okay, so there we go. One thing we could do is it's interesting actually thinking how to go about this, because weirdly, I feel we should just save this as a whole sprite sheet just for each of the weapons, because we might have to do it that way. So let's think what to call this. So weapon. Is this one the axe? No, it's the bow. So weapon bow. Yeah, just weapon bow. So it seems a bit weird how I'm doing this, but I feel like it's the only way in my head that I can think we can pull this off right now. So weapon axe for that one. And yeah, it's in the right position for the facing right sprite when he's got his legs sticking out, I believe. I'm not sure exactly what step that is, but we'll soon find out. So, back to RPG Maker. Not good, so I have a throat infection, so it's a pain to even swallow my saliva. Oh no, Storm, that's horrible. I hope you're taking care of yourself and drinking lots of liquids. Chocolate bears are better than gummy bears. Oh my god, Wheelo, did you say? Teddy. He's broke. Oh no. Real bears are tastier. You think? Chocolate. Nothing is better than chocolate, in my opinion. There's chocolate coconut cookies at home. I can't eat them as they will. Oh no. Well, I really hope you get better soon, Storm. Sore throats are nasty. Just make sure we have lots of liquids. Not an incident. I bet you're shocked. I bet you think all I ever eat is chocolate bars now. My goodness. Okay, so let's carry on with what we was doing. So we have event 21 here. This is the exact spot the hero will be standing in during the cutscene with what we're trying to pull off. So where is it all happening? Here. So event 21 will change into weapon, axe for class 1, and then it'll be the weapon, the bow, for that one. But we also need to make sure that the hero is in the right position as well, otherwise it won't show. So he is facing right, but we need to make him stick his foot out as well. And I'm sure there's a way to do that. Gotta just figure out the right one. Might just be one step forward, I think. Maybe that's the one. Hope it is. We'll test it and we'll soon find out if it works or not. Okay, so I think that's at a point we can test now. We might have a few little bugs, because we usually do when we do cutscenes. There's a few little things we need to fix sometimes, but I'm gonna pause the music in the background, and because we'll have the game sound that we'll be wanting to hear. I have to put my headphones in. One of my friends is coming for a visit, going to lurking mode when they get here. Not that I haven't been halfway already, but still. Oh, well, thank you for hanging out with us, Battle Sandwich. It's been fun. Hope you have a nice time. Being very busy at work with your new promotion, I'm hopeful work will be more chill if I train many people now. Oh, congrats on the promotion, Guido. That's fantastic. GG. Fingers crossed there's no weird stuff happening. We will have Rose flicker once because there's an image caching problem, but we're going to fix that off stream. Okay, we've already got a bug. For some reason, all the choices are coming up together. Even the ones that meant to come later. Right, okay, let's fix this. I think I might know what I've done. Silly Billy. Okay. I already know what I've done. I forgot to move those things down. I have my script still up in the middle of the scene. That's why. So. There. These here that I've just highlighted shouldn't be here. They should be at the bottom. And I accidentally left them in the middle. So there we go. It should work now. That was very weird. I was like, what? Why didn't I like that? Very strange. So off we go again. We saw no bug. It happens. It happens so often. All the time. Thank you, Packluck, for the follow. Welcome. I want to also thank you guys for helping me get to 3k followers. I only noticed this morning actually that we've recently gone over the 3k followers milestone, which is pretty awesome. So thank you all. for following me. 3k follower hype, dab, yay. Hi Necron, how you doing? It's good to see you. I hope you're having a good day. Hopefully no bug this time. Fingers crossed. Okay, so we've still got these choices coming up and we're not meant to. We're only meant to have these ones. Okay, so let's do some fixing. Okay, so those choices are there. That's strange. I'm actually confused. Oh my goodness, thank you for the £1. I appreciate that, Link Chocolates. My goodness. Wow, we know what that is. Well, thank you for the £1. I appreciate you. Mwah. Think I know how to fix this. Can you show us the event page edit options? Okay. Am I in the right spot, Zaxi? For some reason, these choices here are coming up at the same time as the other choices, and that's really bizarre because they shouldn't be. It should only be these ones at this point. These are meant for much later. So maybe they're in the wrong position somewhere. Maybe there's something I forgot to do. I don't know. Is that Witcher song, Storm? I still haven't watched the Netflix show. But I will. I will be. And let's have some hype for Link Chocolate, guys. For $1 or £1. So when you add new stuff like dialogue and such, can you show us that so I can see what the thing you need is called? Which dialogue part in particular? Couldn't see it on stream? Was it? Oh no, what did it say? Why do that? My husband is named Food. Oh, that's a really interesting username. It's a good husband to have. Food. Welcome. Hi from Ireland. Hi, how you doing? It's good to meet you. What type of food is your husband? I'm very intrigued. Like, click a blank space to bring up the options to... Oh, that's what you meant, Sexy. I apologise. I'm not on the ball. There we go. At which page, any particular page you want to look at? I actually play a lot of games made on RPG Maker. This one will be amazing. Awesome, Netclout Row. It will, won't it? It's going to be awesome. Lint Chocolate was looking for his brother. Oh, really? Oh my goodness, Willow Scale. How are you doing? How you guys doing? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day. I hope your stream was wonderful. Well, let's welcome in the lovely Willow Scale, everybody. I'm guessing she was playing Elder Scrolls Online. Let's have a look and see if we was right. Yes, I'm a psychic. I know all. I know everything. How was Elder Scrolls Online, Willow? I hope it was good. Hi, Dino Drag. Welcome to the stream. Label. Oh, there, that one. Oh, I've used these before, actually, Zexy, now you mention them. I just completely... Okay, so let's remind myself. I actually did use them on this occasion in the inn. Or actually I haven't. I have used them somewhere. Was it in the character creation I used them? I'm actually very confused. But I have definitely used them at one point. So, right. Need to, if that's what we need to do then. We have to do jump to labels and stuff, I assume. Hello, how are you? And yes, Elder Scrolls Online as always. Yay! Well, I hope you're doing well. I hope the new year so far has been treating you awesomely. Thank you so much for bringing your community over. I appreciate it. How is everybody doing from Willow Scale Stream? Okay, so I'm going to have a play around. Where are we? What should we call this? End conversation? I'll think of some better label names for sure. I'll get some more time. But I'm not sure what to do, I'll admit. But I have used labels before. You'll add labels in your dialogue tree and you'll use jump to label to get those dialogue options to connect to the right spot. That should stop the last two options from showing up. There might be some of the steps you need, but that's the gist of what I remember. Oh, right. Have you had this problem before then, Zaxi? It was great, thanks. Awesome. I'll admit I've been kind of intrigued to have a play of Elder Scrolls Online just because I'm curious, but I've got back into Final Fantasy 14 again. So, gets addictive, the MMO bug. Got the MMO bug. Gonna grab myself some food. I'm so hungry, but I'll leave myself on lurk. Oh yeah, you go eat. And thank you for the lurk. Hope your food is super yummy, and thank you again. Thank you again for the host. Okay, so yeah, this is a bizarre thing that has never happened to me in RPG Maker before. So we'll also see RPG Maker MV choices. Not even sure what to type in for that one. Yeah, it's strange. If we look at the cabin scene, for example, we do have loads of choices in this one. We've got this one, and we haven't used labels here, so I'm curious why. Oh, we have used labels. Hang on, so questions version 2. But hang on, we got that set of choices. Let's see where the next one is. And we've got that. So I have been labeling the choices, but yeah, I've never had the problem where all the choices have come up at once when doing these scenes. I wish I knew to help me. Yeah, no worries, Netcron. We'll figure it out for sure. Sometimes it's something really obvious, and this is something that happens a lot. It's part of game development, does it a lot, doesn't it? You solve one thing and then there's another thing. And cutscene building is usually a time when you do come across the little bugs. Right, so did we label that one? End conversation, yeah. I mean, it's definitely not meant to be there instead, is it? Because then it would get brought into this section, which we wouldn't want. I feel like it's in the right spot. Right, so I'm going to turn on our background music again. And I'm going to do another test bay, but this one's going to be a muted one now because I'm kind of going to just be trying to figure out this bug But for now, we're not going to be fussy about the actual cutscene. So let's try again. Also, I'm going to have to turn off the sound, otherwise it's going to clash. There we go. Because we're probably going to be doing quite a few test plays. So, okay, so it's worked. Okay. I wasn't expecting that to be solved that fast. Okay, so that's fixed. I don't even know how it got fixed. That's interesting. Maybe it was just adding the label. Maybe that's all we had to do. Don't sound so surprised it worked. You have legendary RPG skills. I'm surprised because I don't know how I fixed it. Because usually when it's fixed, I'm like, yeah, I understand why it's fixed. But when I don't, it's like, oh, okay. But I'm assuming it's the label. But thank you, Eli, for the kind words. Okay, so there's a few little bugs to fix, and I feel like we might as well keep the game music on now, because we're going to be looking at the cutscene properly now. I just thought we'd have a bug problem, so I thought we'd have to do the sad scene over and over until we fixed it, but all is good. Back to the cutscene, and I already did spot another problem, but I'm going to get Notepad up so I can make a note. But I don't want you guys seeing my secrets, but wow. You'll get to see what I'm typing in. Do you have a mage? There is a playable character that is a mage or sorcerer. They're not in it yet, but they will be joining the party at some point. Okay, so it didn't work, the thing with the weapon, but we'll get that fixed. So I'm going to note that down. Okay, so that bit was fine, but we'll have to check the other choices as well to see if they're working okay, because I think one of the choices had a bit of a thing with the dialogue box that needs fixing. Okay, so let's see how we can get this to work. So that should have appeared, and the reason why it hasn't appeared is because it is not facing in the right direction. Well, he is facing in the right direction, but he's not stepping the way he should. So I think we need to say move left. I think we might have to do that. But if the player's there, the tree's going to be in the way, I think. We won't see. We'll see how it looks. It might look okay. So I have move left, change that one as well. And that should work. All going well. The weapon sprite should appear with that in that particular part of the conversation. We'll see. We'll soon find out. It has to do with how it was nesting everything. It was treating all the options as being together. The label made view the two sets of options as two individual things. Well, that's great. Thank you, those Exy, for mentioning the labels, because it's such a simple thing, but something that's so easily forgotten. So I'll just have to remember, always label everything. That's the rule. So yeah. Oh yeah, I better write that in on my notepad file so I don't forget as well. Rose sprite flicker. Is she? So we'll try that one again. Alright, so he hasn't even moved forward. Have I done the very obvious hugest mistake? I think I know what I've done. I'm gonna feel like a massive noob if it's true. We'll soon see. Yeah. I haven't even got it set for the player, that's why. Well, what it is, it's confusing because it needs to be that. It needs to be event 21 because, yeah, that's, okay. No, it is meant to be that one, not the player. That's fine. I have it on that one for a reason. So I was... It's right, that's meant to be that. Hang on. Turn the animation on when the character's not moving. Yeah, that should be fine. The only quick fix of that is doing this. It would be to put them all on the same row and then it will show up. Problem is though, to me it doesn't look as good when his leg's not sticking out. But I at least want to test if this is the problem. So there we go. And also the axe as well. So yeah, it's got to be that one. It looks better like that because he's not even holding it in those two. But if this works now, if this shows up, we know that that's the problem. So it'll ease my mind to see. And I'm sorry, guys, you're not even seeing what I'm doing because I haven't got Photoshop up. But I'm just editing the weapon sprite thing that we're using with the cutscene. It's just extra detail is all. There's a moment in the conversation where the hero gets angry at Carol and draws his weapon. And obviously you can be one of two classes as the hero, either a hunter or warrior. So depending on what you are, will be whatever weapon you draw. And I'm personally a fan of just those extra things because it's a bit boring if all the characters do is just stand there and are expressionless. So it just adds a bit of personality to do these things. Even though it's hard work, it's worth it in the end when you've got a really cool cutscene. Hugest mistake is not eating more chocolate. Oh, it'll be gone later. That will after my dinner. That's for sure. Do you have a character which is a ghost or a floating glowing weapon? No, we don't have a ghost yet. We might do by the end, towards the end of the game, though, or at some point in the development. Who knows? We have all sorts in our game, even talking barrels. Okay, so that still hasn't worked, so that isn't the issue then. That actually isn't the issue, but that's good then, because it's narrowing things down for what the problem is, and it's fun solving these problems. So this particular image weapon axe that we've got here that it's meant to change into is what we're trying to do, and it's not appearing. Even though we've made them move left. No, we made them move left instead of move right. Oh my god, no wonder. This is just me not being able to tell my left from my right why this is not working. I would have thought. No wonder it wasn't working. Let's do it again. Any creatures yet, like hedgehogs? We have fruits. They're creatures, aren't they? They're living fruits. So I suppose they could be classed as creatures. Yeah, ghost blueberry because he needs to die. Well, it should definitely work this time. It's okay. It's worked because I can see the axe there. It's hiding behind the tree. Okay, so if we can actually fix that. Okay, I've got a plan. At least we know it's there now. Because I ideally don't want him to move, right? Because he's hidden behind the tree. And we also need to move the player as well. So we'll have to do that and put... What we'll do is... Instead of moving right, I want him to step one forward. So that's... We tried that one before, but I don't know if that's the right one. But I basically want the hero to stick his foot out. That's what I'm trying to do. So I've done player one step forward, and I'm hoping that will do it. So I want the same for that one too. One step forward. This didn't work last time when I tried. I'm pretty sure it didn't. So it might not be the right one. We won't do class 2 yet because, you know, we're a warrior anyway, so it won't show that. It'll show this one. But we'll do it once we know we've got it right, because it just saves a bit of time to not mess around with that one at this stage. The tree is an axe run. Yeah, and that was me thinking when we're going to finish this cutscene today. I mean, we're getting there. It's mostly done. It's just sorting out the little buggy bugs. But I did want to do scene 8 today and we didn't get a chance. I might do scene 8 off stream and show it to you guys tomorrow. Because scene 8's super short. There's literally just 3 dialogue boxes. And it's in the exact same position, so I don't think it's going to be hard work to do that. It's going to be scene 7 that's the hard one, and I want to start that tomorrow for sure. I want to start spending time building scene 7 tomorrow, because that's the exciting bit. Okay, so he walked forward and disappeared for some reason. Probably because he's behind the tree, I don't know. But we're going to go back and fix it again. Yeah, he took 1 step forward and I don't want him to. I want him to just step forward, please. I want him to stick his foot out. If I turn the stepping animation on, he will like just walk on the spot, I think, if I do that. But I'm curious to see what happens when I do that. I'm predicting that we'll see the axe flashing. That's what I'm intending to happen anyway, because I just want to make sure it appears first of all. And if it does, then we just need to figure out how to make him stick his foot out permanently. But we don't want it. We don't want the player to change into the axe as well, so we delete that. We just, yeah, I think that's right. I think I need more chocolate. Sorry, Bear. Yeah, maybe we could do it that way, Zexy. First of all, let's see if this is working. Once we know it is, then we can figure out how to make him stick his foot out forever. Okay, so as you can see, the stepping animation's on, but the axe isn't showing. I was hoping that during the frame where he had his foot sticking out, the axe would show. That was the plan. Oh, sorry guys, I've slammed my desk. But it hasn't. So, let's go back and... This is kind of a weird one though, you know. It's a weird way to do things, but it's the only way I can think of. Hang on. Oh, that's the hunter one, isn't it? That's why that hasn't worked. Okay, sorry, Bear. Thank you for the quote, Wheelo. Once we figure this out, just think of how awesome we're gonna feel, though. You know, I'm just surprised there isn't... Well, the fact is, it's not working. So even if it... let's think. I've obviously done something wrong. Should we get rid of the weight? I don't think we need the weight on. Okay, so the reason why it hasn't come up, I think, is because we're not facing right. We need to turn right. We need to have event 21 turned right, and then the stepping animation on, and now it should appear. So I'm pretty confident now we're going to see the axe, but it'll be flickering. But this is like for test purposes to see if it's going to work. So I think that was what we was missing. We needed to turn right. That's why it weren't showing. Okay. I'll read what you said in a sec, Zexy, once we've seen this test. Okay, so it's there. And the axe is actually there the whole time, and that's because we put it on the whole row, didn't we? So that's why it's there the whole time. But we need to put it in front of the hero, of course, because it's behind him at the moment. I mean, doesn't necessarily have to be in front of him. He could have it in his other hand. Might actually look okay like that. Okay, so at least we know it's worked now. Oh, sorry, did I not show you all? I think I forgot to put my test play screen up. But it was there, but I'll just say. So you know how you change Radius Point to Surprise Rose? Why do you have a set path at seat where the hero is holding his axe, and do the same switch that you used with Rose to get his axe to show? Oh, okay, so you're saying that the axe sprite sheet and the bow sprite sheet, we do a self switch for that? Is that what you're saying, Zexy? Similar to how we've done that. I mean, I think that could work. I think the only worry is we've already used south switch A, B and C. So we've only got D left, and because we've got a choice out of 2, an axe and a bow, we'd need an extra south switch. We'd need a south switch E as well. It might work, but I don't see how we can't get this to work now we've seen it working anyway. We just need to make him stick his foot out forever. That's what we got to do. So let's do it. We saw it work. Yay! Okay, so can you turn the stepping animation on for just a frame so the foot is forward and then turn it off? Okay, so let's see if we can do that. We need to make the player step. It's got to be somewhere here. We're just not looking in the right spot. Should we just turn it off and see if that works? On and off. Do you reckon that could work? That might be the most simple solution. Let's see if that works. I wonder if it'll count that as a frame. That's the question. Well, we need to put a weight there, do you think? Yeah, it's even if you're unsure, it's worth just seeing, isn't it? Because you just never know. And it feels the logical thing to do. And if it doesn't work, we'll just put a weight and see if it works then. Okay, so he's got the axe, but the hero's not stepping forward himself. But the difference is the axe isn't like moving weirdly this time. It's staying in one spot. It seems like it has firmly stuck to a position, but it's the wrong position. It is still, for some reason, standing without his foot sticking out. And thank you, Swing TV, for the follow. Welcome. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. We're making a scene today, and we're just dealing with some little fixing to make it all work perfectly. That's how it goes. Right, so I'm going to try doing a weight, I think. I'm just curious if that would change the position. Let's do that again. But basically, guys, because I know that we are nearing our finishing time. Not yet, but soon. I will be doing some more of this off stream today, fixing all the things. And because I want to get the cart scene started for the last 2 streams of the week. That'd be awesome. Okay, so he's still not stepping forward, and you know, it works like this. He's got the axe out, so we could just leave it like this, but you know what I'm like. I want him to step because it just makes it look better. He looks better with the axe when he's stepping forward. But at least it's there. And we should have a sound effect with it as well. Of a drawing weapon sound effect. And at some point I think I want the music to go off because I think it loses the the tone. Like, it's kind of a very silly piece of music, Carol the Barrel's theme, and it works at first when she's being sassy, but because the tone changes to serious, it like maybe should stop. When does the conversation get serious? Let's have a look. Let's look at our dialogue tree. Somewhere around here, actually, the music could start to fade out, maybe. Or even here. We'll see where it looks best. Well, what feels like the most impactful moment. Okay. So I'm going to just put... So we got Rose sprite flicker issue to solve. Weapon needs to appear. We've done that. Hero needs to step forward with weapon. That's what we got to fix. And other than that, we've got all the dialogue in. Apart from that, all we haven't done is figure out a good flirty thing for the hero to say to Carol. And it'd be great if it was related to this. So we've got, don't be so rude, she has a name, stop calling me flashback. So I could imagine he would say how... Something related to name calling, of course, because that's kind of the theme of this choice selection. It's about being called a name, or somebody else being called a name. And I'd say that that's about Rose being called a name, that one's about the hero being called a name, and that one's going to be about Carol being called a name. So he could say something like, how would you feel if I called you? And then it's an insult word that could also be seen as a flirty word. Empty-headed, no. What is a lewd word for a barrel? What would it, like, you know, be lewd to call Carol? I'm very interested about lewd barrel words. But it's very hard to think, isn't it, off the top of your head? But it would be perfect, just thinking of something. You can set the music and events. You can tell the music to stop and start a more serious song, or you could even tie it into a choice if you wanted. Awesome. So I've been kind of doing like fade outs with the BGM and stuff. So that's what I did when I made the forest music fade out. So but we are going to have music for the flashback anyway, so I can imagine the music coming then. We'll see. I'll have a look and see what worked best tonight when I have a play around. And thank you, Smartbringer, for the host. I appreciate that. How are you doing? I'd like to get a splinter from you, Wink. That might be a little lewd. Oh my goodness. Let's see how that'd look. So I do like that, Rex. Let's see if we can make it work with the kind of theme of the choice that we've got here. Yeah, it's making it fit with the conversation, so it just doesn't feel out of place, because it's all about name calling at the moment. So, you know, but I am gonna say what you've said, simply because it's a very good flirty romance comment that we can have for Carol in the future, or anything, even, yeah. Because it is good. Just don't know if it's going to fit with what we got in this conversation. It is a hard one. It's a tough one. And I'm going to have to think about it after. Okay. What we're going to do now. So yeah, it's literally just that, and then we've got scene 8. And that's going to be super easy. Like, I'm not kidding, we could literally do that now before we finish stream, because it's that short. So we'd probably make a new page. So after the flashback scene, it would teleport us to here again. And how would we trigger the correct page? Because I kind of want to use a self switch again, I did, rather than a normal switch. We could have self switch D. That bit, but I don't know if it'd work. I'd have to test. Pickle. it's difficult, guys, because we need to have it link in with what the dialogue has been about. You know, it has to link, and that's the challenging bit. But it is, I mean, it's hard. It's hard sometimes. Okay, so back to the present day in the Everbloom Forest. The hero and Rose are facing Carol when the flashback ends. So they can all still be in there. We'll leave them where they're standing for now, because I forgot. We'll get Carol's dialogue in first, because that's the easiest bit. Okay, so this is super short scene, so it's literally just Carol rambling to herself. It's just saying it. She could say, "I'd like to give you a splinter, you know, barrels of the place to hide a pickle." Sorry, I didn't see what you said, Rex. Actually, completely missed that. And no, it's the hero that's saying it, so he's the one that has to flirt with her. But that'd be great from Carol whenever she starts to get more comfortable with the hero. But that is really lewd. It is. Okay, so but yeah, the main main thing is it has to all flow with what they've been chatting about. I'll have a think about it tomorrow, and I will mention if something's coming to my head. But I am definitely drawing a blank with the flirting. I guess I'm rubbish at flirting, because I cannot think of flirting dialogue. Okay, I am. Okay, so. Carol's dialogue's nearly done. But this scene I'm just putting together here is what Carol's going to say when the flashback ends and we come back here. I've got the event page ready and for when that is, because then that'll be just something out the way. Have we got a sad Rose face? We actually don't have a sad Rose face. I'm going to look in the expressions in the generator and see if we can get a sad Rose face. It'll be better than that one. And this is the last line. Oh no, there isn't. Rose gets another line. So I lied. I don't think I changed Carol's expression, so which ones have I got? That word. Yeah, now this is the last bit. Rose with an angry face. She might hiss maybe as well. She don't like that. Ah, so see, now it's done. Easy peasy. And I'm sure there'll be a few edits to make when we test it, because there always is. But at least we've got the dialogue in. That's the time consuming bit. So I'm gonna tonight just work on making sure that this scene that we've been doing is all working perfectly and we fix the little issues. And we should be at a stage tomorrow where we can go on to the cart scene, the flashback. I think we'll be ready to do that then. But I will have a think about potential lines that the hero can say to flirt with Carol. What makes it so hard is just we can't be random. So if we basically the hero's annoyed, and the choice is the hero's either annoyed that he's been called a name or Rose has been called a name, because Carol the Barrel has been calling Rose a cruncher and the hero a flesh bag, and he either protects himself or Rose, and the third one has to kind of be part of that same thing. You have to keep that same consistency. We don't want it to be too random and be like, oh, like too out of the blue. So I feel like something linked to name calling is a good one, but it has to be like a flirting insult. Otherwise, she's not good. She has to basically say, oh, shush, just get over here. So she has to know that it's flirty. It's a tough one though. Like, I cannot even think. It's been like unfilled for like a week now. We'll get there. Why so wooded? Why so wooden? How would you like if I called you morning wood? Oh my god. See, that's what I mean. Like, that's kind of what we're going for here, because we want Hero to call her a name and be like, yeah, how would you like it? Is that too loud for a PG-13 game? I just want the honest answer here, because I like it and I kind of want to go for that one. But are we kind of crossing a boundary by being that lewd? Is that lewd, or is it PG-13? That's kind of what I'm asking here. What do you guys think? Because it's perfect. Like, that is kind of what we're going for here. I really liked your other one about the splinter, and that'll be, I'm sure we'll have a time when that will be perfect too, or even the pickle one. I've saved what you've had. Yeah, I've got it in my notepad file, Rex, by the way, all the things you suggested for future scenes. I guess PG is not referring to P in any way, so I'm going to put it because it's easily the best one we've got. So let me just get up her dialogue tree again so we can get it in. Okay, so I don't think we need Face's barrel, because he's already sort of facing her, but we'll keep it there anyway, just for the extra detail. It's very difficult with the hero to have a tone to something flirty, because he has no facial expressions, or she has no facial expressions like the other characters do. So we can't even like put a little smirk there, which if we could put a little smirk with that, it would be perfect, because we'd know that he's being flirty. But yeah. PG-13 gets really wrong, so I won't be surprised to see something like that. Yeah, it's fine. I guess it's just like, is that flirty? It is, isn't it? I don't know. I'm no flirting expert. What did the tree do when the bank closed? It started its own branch. Weirdo. You're good with the pun jokes, the tree jokes. I'm gonna, you know, because we might want that, I'm gonna save that as well, reload, because we're in the Everbloom Forest and there's lots of trees, and if we want the NPCs to have jokes, we have a bank as well in this area. We got a raindrop bank, we got trees, so there might actually be a relevance to a joke like that. Might actually have a place. So I've saved it. It's like flirty in a teasing way. He won't be suggesting any sexual act with her. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I feel like that is something that we can have, because it fits with the whole name calling consistency of the conversation we've been having. When it fits, like, it flows well, and it's also, the content of it is also something that would warrant a romance point. So we are going to have that one there for now. I mean, I'm intrigued what people think, like what the thoughts are, of course, because it is a controversial piece of dialogue to have. But I think it's PG-13 enough. We don't want to go over the top with this game, but it's nothing that's like, oh my god, that's shockingly lewd. It's nothing to that degree. So I think it's fine to have. Hi Az, welcome. How long you been doing game design? It's a very hard question to ask because I've been interested in game design since I was about 7 years old. But this will be my first release when we get episode 1 released. But I've been dabbling all my life, should I say. But I'm not a coder, and I'm not like, I haven't studied code or anything like that. So I'm kind of self-teaching, self-taught. Yeah, he's basically calling her erection, which isn't flattering but lewd and teasing. So this would fly if she's like, oi flesh bag, listen up, I've seen this crunch before. And he's like, how would you like it? I called you morning wood. And she's like, oh hush, just get over here. That feels like it belongs when you think of the flow of how the conversation's gone and what's come previously. And it also connects well with the other choices. And that was kind of the goal. So well done, Rex. Thank you very much. I have to say, you're the king of comedy. So whenever we want a bit of funny in, we know who to go to. I'll be messaging you. What we're saying, if we've got any ideas. But I hope you don't mind. You didn't say my name correctly. I said as, because I've called you it for short. Get used to it. Sorry, that's very cheeky. LOL, that is flattering but far too generous. I shorten everybody's names, by the way, just for easiness. Because I'll admit I can't say your full name as. But no, it isn't generous, it's the truth, right? So accept it. You are the king of comedy. Right, so I'm glad that we've got that sorted. So I don't think there's any more gaps to fill in now. I think we've literally got every single bit of dialogue we want in this scene. The only question was that we might like expand on this particular bit where she talks about the box a bit more, Woody. Because apparently this reminds her of Woody, but that works because Woody's a bit of a comic character too. So, you know, she says at that point, you remind me of this box, I know. And yeah, it fits. So she can, you know, potentially talk about Woody a bit more. And then it wouldn't last too long. But at the moment, this second choice has the most dialogue. So it only feels fair to just give a little bit more here as well, maybe. But that's optional at this point. It's not essential. It's just some extra fluff we might add later. But let's go back and revisit RPG Maker. And get that flirty comment in. So at the moment we just got flirting insults. So there we go, it's in. So I'm going to spend before tomorrow's stream just fixing this scene work because there's just a few little small bug things to solve. And then once they're done, we're ready to begin the flashback scene. A scene on TV, that's what I'd call you. Well, I in answer to your question, I genuinely have a hard time pronouncing anybody's name. That is something that is a big struggle of mine when it comes to people coming stream. Like 90% of the time I'm like, hang on, how do I pronounce your name? So I usually just shorten people's names. Am I still a trickle? Yes, you are. But I have faith in you, Oracle. I hope you don't mind being patient for your 500 raindrops, but I believe in you. But we only had that rule there, Oracle, because otherwise we'd just have so many character sheets we wouldn't know what, it would just be impossible to keep up with. So we just say 500 raindrops, and by that point, usually the people who have got the 500 raindrops are people that have, they've been in the stream a while, and it's kind of a reward for them to have a character by that point. The only Aziz I know is Aziz, and I can't say that either. Yeah, I'm a splash. Okay, so guys, I'm going to pass you on to somebody else now. I mean, we are running a touch late today. we've gone over after 6. My dinner is very soon, but if I can quickly just send you over to someone, that'll be great. So okay. So shall we go say hi to Mia Bite, guys? I think you'll like Mia, everybody, if you don't know her already. Me and Rex had sushi with her over Christmas. It was a nice day out. So, Rose Red Blood, guys, an emote of your choice with that. Or you could just go in and say hi. It's totally up to you. And I will see you all tomorrow, and we're going to do more cutscene stuff tomorrow. We will start the exciting flashback scene that we've all been waiting for. Take care. Have an awesome day. Thank you all for hanging out and for all your awesome feedback and ideas. You're the best.